welcome to North Carolina Law TV. Today we're going to talk about serious injuries and what exactly determines the seriousness of an injury according to the law. My guest is David Daggett, managing partner of Daggett Shuler Law, and he's going to talk with us about this topic. So David, good to see you.
Thank you, Cindy. Thanks for having me.
Well, David, talk to me about serious injuries as opposed to maybe a more typical injury.
Well, every injury is serious when it happens to you.
Sure.
Okay, so don't want to minimize anybody's injuries.
Right.
But typically when we're talking about serious injuries, we're talking about a permanent disability of some sort or some sort of ongoing income impairing injury. So when you have a serious injury, that's different because it's you or your spouse is out of work, running up medical expenses, maybe in the hospital. This could be mom or dad, or maybe you're worried about a child who's seriously injured. In any of those circumstances, it's my opinion, it's prudent to get legal counsel involved to help you walk through the entire process, because you can get over your head very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And you should be focusing your time on the very, very difficult part of putting your family back together, putting the pieces back together, getting by while you're going through this just terrible episode.
Right.
And that's when you need somebody who knows what they're doing to get involved, take charge, and look after your best interests.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when you get into a serious injury and you said a permanent type injury, I would imagine there's additional types of benefits that kind of come into play, like future medical expenses, things like that,
Sure.
what you may need in the future.
Sure.
What types of things are relevant to that?
Well, under the law, you have to prove it, but you're entitled to damages if you can prove you have a permanent injury. You're entitled to damages if you have ongoing or continuing or future medical expenses, any future lost wages, any of those sort of things. It's the lawyer's job to document that, work it up, and prove what those damages are. And then the law has very specific entitlements to additional compensation if you have permanent injuries.
Okay. All right, that's very interesting. So there's specific terminology that you need to use when you're dealing with some of these cases.
From the legal side, yes.
Right, from the legal side.
Yeah, from the legal side.
Okay.
There's specific terminology
Right.
and specific things that you have to work up and document. That's a very good point. From the legal side. And what we do is we pull that in, sometimes have to get outside resources to help us with the documentation so that when somebody has a permanent injury or ongoing loss of wages, we can prove that, document that, and make sure they're compensated for themselves and so they can take care of their families.
Right. So just not to belabor the point, but let me just understand. So is the qualifying factor that you have to have what would be deemed a permanent injury under the law? Is that the main criteria when you talk about unlocking damages?
Well, yeah, to prove those damages,
Okay.
the law entitles you to damages for permanent injury. You have to prove it's permanent.
Okay.
You're entitled to future lost wages. You're entitled to future medical expenses, but you have to prove that and document it in a way that it's compensable. And you know, basically, I mean, the long and short is you got to back it down into dollars.
Yeah.
And you have to have somebody who knows how to do that and is competent at putting all those pieces together for you. I often say that putting a case together is like putting together a puzzle. If an individual handles their case on their own, they may settle for just a centerpiece, okay? You need to get the edge pieces, you need to fill in the center, then you can see the whole picture of what the case is. The effects on the family, the effects down the road, you know, everything involved.
Yeah.
And that's quite complicated.
It is. It's a great analogy, but this is very complex stuff.
It is very complex, and it's tricky for an individual to try to weave through that minefield on their own.
Yeah.
So this isn't good English, but I think you should always consult with an attorney if you have an injury.
Right.
Sometimes they will just give you guidance and advice and not represent you, and that's very helpful. But and this is my bad English. The more bad the injury, the greater the need to have legal representation.
Yeah.
So in a serious injury, it's very important that you have competent representation that's on your side.
Absolutely.
Not on the insurance company side,
Yeah.
on your side.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
It is. And David, how can they reach you if they have questions?
Our website, daggettshulerlaw.com, or 336-724-1234.
Excellent. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, this is Cindy Speaker for North Carolina Law TV.